Good morning, and how are you this morning? So today we're just going to run through a bit of a flow just to get a little bit of restoration in our body. So if you've had a busy week, you've overdone it on the exercises, which is what I've done, or you just want to calm your mind, then come and join us. So let's get on. Let's make a start with coming to a sitting in a cross-legged position. I'm just going to change this because this is annoying me slightly with that popping out. Let's do something else. There's far too much there. Okay. All right, that feels better. So come sitting cross-legged. And I just want you to we're just going to start to feel our seat bones on the mat. Feel our joints. Just feel our bodies. So just start to move forwards and backwards. Just start to feel your pelvis moving. Feel the different parts of your pelvis on the mat. Feel your hips moving. Feel your knees, your ankles. Feel what your upper body is doing as you move forward. Feel the difference in relation to where you feel the weight in your pelvis as you rock forwards and you rock backwards. And now let's just twist from left to right and just feeling what happens as you twist from side to side. Feel the difference in weight on your sides of your pelvis, on the sitting bones. Can you feel your knees moving as you change direction? Where do you feel it in your hips? Is your body moving slowly and easily? You feel stiff? Are you moving a bit quicker at the moment as you're settling into something a bit slower pace? Are you expecting to do it in a certain way and waiting for me to tell you how to do it? Or are you happy to just experiment with that movement? Is there any clickings and clackings of the bones? Okay, come back. Right, let's change legs. So just have a look at how you're sitting cross-legged. Which leg is closest to you and which leg is going over the top. And just change that position. So you've got a different leg on top, different leg inside. Just get used to that feeling. We're so habitual in our movements. You'll find you always cross your legs in the same way. So just changing the way you cross your legs just changes a little bit in your brain, what's happening. And now let's feel what happens as you move forwards and backwards. How different does it feel? Can you even just let go and relax and be comfortable with just your legs crossed in a different way? So forwards and backwards. Starting to think about how having your legs crossed in a different way affects what you feel with on your sitting bones, affects how steadier you feel or less steady as you're rocking backwards and forwards. Are your knees coming along for the ride as you go backwards? Do you find that you're rocking slightly to one side or the other because you've got a bit of stiffness, so you're ending up doing a circle rather than backwards and forwards? What's happening? Just starting to get a bit of an awareness. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong. You're just seeing what your body's doing. Okay, now about if you twist to the right and then to the left. Are you feeling everything slowing down a little bit and you're finding it easier to twist slowly? Are your knees moving as much, twisting left and right with your legs in this position? Or are they different? A big sigh at this point can just tell you that you're just starting to relax body and mind, easing that tension. Slow, slow, slow. It's Saturday. Let's ease into the weekend. Make a change from a Monday to Friday and doing something a little bit different. Okay, excellent. Now I want you to stand up and just, no judgment, nothing's right or nothing's wrong. Just see how easy it is to flow up. Do you get onto your knees like I've done? Do you fall forwards, put your hands on the ground? Just make a note of how you find getting it up and down. Just grab your half dome or your rolled up towel. We're just going to do a couple of calf stretches. So remembering you're going to stand both feet pointing forwards and the weight back in your heels, feet hip width apart, and just lay the ball of your foot on the top of the half dome. Let your ankle drift down to the floor and move that leg, that standing leg a little bit forwards. I've got the best view out my window just behind the camera for all the bird feeders there. And this is a busy breakfast time for birds. Okay, and let's change legs. So get yourself set up first. Just seeing how tight you've come this week. Is there a lot of tightness? Have you had a busy week, a stressful week? Have you found your anxiety levels raising? Or maybe you've had a good week. Maybe you had an indifferent week. And let's go back onto the first leg. The difference between the first stretch and this stretch. How's it feeling? And onto the other calf. Now just move your half dome away. Let's do a top of the foot stretch. So you're standing, feet pointing forwards, weight in the heels. You're just going to lay the top of your foot out behind you. See if you can keep your heel in line with the rest of your leg so that your heel's not winging out to the side. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can take the foot further behind you. And if you need less stretch, bring it closer to your standing leg. Oh, and let's stretch the other foot. Okay, come back sitting down again, but this time sit yourself sole to sole, sole to sole. So the soles of your feet are touching. I am going to sit on my half dome for this. Oh no, I'm not actually. Let's just sit on the floor. And just the same as we were doing earlier, but we've just got our legs in a different configuration. So you're just increasing the stretch and the openness of the hips here. And just start rocking forwards and backwards. How far is comfortable for you to rock forwards and backwards compared to how you're wanting to rock forwards and backwards? Right, sometimes we sit here to do an exercise and it can be easier to do as much as possible, right? We want to be head of the class, top of the class, A-class student. But let's get away from that and just think about what your body is wanting you to do. Small rocks from back and forward. Is it easier on your body if you're doing smaller ones? Do you feel the tension is less than you're trying to be the best? Just delving into what your body loves, what your body needs. What are those knees doing? Do they move? Do your eyes want to be open or closed? Your head feeling a bit calmer and a bit less frantic? Okay, and let's twist to the right. And then twist to the left. What if you move your hands onto the mat as you twist? Put your hands behind you. How does that feel? Right and left. What if you don't twist quite so much? How does that feel? What if you twist from your pelvis as well as your shoulders? Or from your waist? Does that feel slightly different? Okay, so let's slowly come up to standing. I'm just going to adjust. Oh, hello, hello. Hi, Right, we are going to do a paint the globe. So I want you to have your hands down by your side. Take your hands out. And I want you to imagine that you're in a big globe. And you know what? Take your hands right to the top. And I saw an advert for a yoga class. It's in one of those big bubbles. You know, the ones that you see at fun fairs that you sit in, stand in, and then go across water. Big, or you roll down hills or weird things. I want you to imagine you're standing in one of those. I want you to feel it all up and around side to side. And I want you to think about coming up to the front and out behind you. Where can you feel out behind you? Now I want you to imagine that you're just going to paint that. You've got that magic paint coming out of your fingertips. And you're just going to paint your globe, as much of it as possible. You're stretching right up. We're not worrying about form today. We're just thinking about stretching, making our space bigger, making your space yours. Where does your space end? Be in that big bubble. Well, don't forget about right at the top there. All of it. You know, when we think about bringing our arms up, we're only painting this tiny section in front of us. So what about if you open your arms a little bit wider and you're painting the next section right up to the top? A little bit wider still. So you're painting the whole thing right up there. Don't forget the top. And out to the side. And you paint a little bit behind you. Just a bit. Okay. One more. Bab, bab, bab. Okay, let's come back down to a V-sit now. So V-sit is legs out in a V. Oh, let me Let me just adjust that again. So you're coming into your V-sit, and again, just taking note, where's your comfortable position for your V-sit? And we're just going to rock forwards and backwards again. How does that feel with open legs as opposed to when we had our legs crossed and Soul to Soul? There is a band called Soul to Soul, isn't there? I'm going to have to go and look that up when I get. I'm sure I love their songs. Okay, and now how about if you can take your legs a little bit further apart? Can you bring your toes up towards the ceiling? Or is that too much? Where's the stretch different if you've got your toes up towards the ceiling and you're stretching? Different parts are being stretched and asked to move and to release and allow you to get that movement. Is it easier for your toes to drop backwards, back inwards? Can you ask them to come up again? And then let's twist left, right. I'm twisting to the left, to the right and saying left. It's confusing me. Left and right. And left. And what's happening to your legs as you twist left and right? You find that as you twist right, your left knee's coming off the ground. That's interesting. What happens when you twist right? Now, how far can you take the twist and keep that back of the knee on the ground? You feel a different stretch on the inner thighs. You're asking for that stretch, yes? So lifting the knee, you can feel that tension's released. We're just showing you how your body can compensate. Do what you're asking it, and compensate for any tightness. It's clever, it's nice, but let's just say, right, we want to keep the knee on the ground, the back of the knee on the ground. We want to stretch on the inner thigh. And to the left again. Okay, so let's come back on your feet. See if you can get up a different way to you did last time. And back to another calf stretch. How does it feel this time? How do you feel standing on the ground? Now we've done some work with working on the hip joints and the knee joints and moving the torso. Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel more stable on the ground? Do you feel taller? Do you feel calmer? Is your mind drifting to what you want for breakfast or lunch or something that you should be doing today that you've just remembered? I'm lucky enough to be listening to all the birds. I don't know whether you can hear that, but it's very nice. Okay, now let's move to top of the foot stretch. How does that feel this time round? If your heel was falling out last time, is it easier to keep it straight? Can you go a bit further back this time? Is it a little bit easier to balance? I should have said this is not a balancing exercise. If you want to put a hand on the wall or a chair, then that's absolutely fine. Balance. Well, I was thinking about doing a balancing one next week because there's sort of some fun stuff that I've been doing in some of my other classes that I've been participating in, not teaching, and yeah, there's some fun stuff that I'd like to bring in as well. Okay, so let's get yourself bolstered up. We're going to lay down and do some work on the floor. So grab yourself some blankets and some cushions, and remember how we are bolstering ourselves up so that we're working on the psoas muscle whilst we're doing these exercises, remembering that you want to only bolster the shoulder blades so that your ribs can move down. Have your head bolstered so that you're not in a back extension. Your chin's a little bit closer to your chest. And you want to make sure, we're going to do some arm work, so you want to make sure that you've got plenty of room to move your arms. So we have snow on the way apparently. I'll believe that when I see it. A yellow snow warning. We're always told to avoid yellow snow, and you've got a yellow snow warning, which has amused me no end. Okay, so let's practice some snow angels. We're going to do them on the floor. You're just going to take your arms out to the side, palms upwards, bend your elbows slightly, and you're just going to draw your wings. Now, you want to make sure that you're not going so far that your chest pops off the ground. So your wings might not be huge right up to your head right now. That doesn't matter. And you want to make the leading movement the elbows. So it's almost like you've got your elbows are, imagine if there's a bit of string tied around your elbows and they're being pulled upwards. Now see if you can rotate your shoulder. I want to imagine that you've got two bowls of soup in your hands and that you're tipping them out behind you. So you're rotating your shoulders externally, which is a different range than you would normally have your shoulders in. It gives you that stretch and helps, I can't think of the word, but it helps do the opposite of what you normally do when you're typing. Give me my words back. Yes, so we're normally inwardly rotated with our palms facing down. We're doing it this way, palms facing up, and it just gives a different movement in the shoulders here. Now, I want you to come to rest from there. Bring your knees up so your feet are flat on the floor. Arms can be wherever's comfortable. And just allow your knees to just move to the left. Don't let them flop right to the floor yet. Just move them to the left so you can start to feel the stretch down the right side of your body. Just see how far you can go comfortably. Then slowly you're going to think about pulling your knees up rather than just kind of swinging them back. So you want it's a nice controlled movement. Think about really controlling your knees as they come back up. And then allow them to drop to the right. Then again, controlled movements. Controlled movements mean that you're actually going to be working muscles to control, working muscles, strengthening muscles, allowing muscles to release and relax, rather than giving your body a sudden jolt as your knees flop to one side and the other. How far is comfortable? I mean, it doesn't matter whether your body goes with it at the moment or not. And then bring them back. So you're imagining that you're actually pulling your knees up, up, up. You should be able to feel your stomach muscles tightening, firing up. And then allow them to go to the other side. And you should feel as they're dropping down that your abdominal muscles are just firing up to help control that movement. Feel the stretch down the side, maybe across the side of the hips here. And then come back up. Do that one more side, once more on the other side. really nice to feel how the change in the tension of your muscles as you're doing these exercises. You can feel how your muscles are needing to work to do this exercise. Gives you a little bit more awareness of your body and how it works, and how much effort it goes in for you. Okay, come back up. Let's now, you're going to lay on your side. So stay bolstered, but come fully onto your side and make sure that your knees bent, knees are on top of each other, which will mean that your hips are on top of each other. If you've got a knee hanging out behind, it means that you're laying a bit skew width. So just bring your knees on top, bottom arm on the floor, and just moving your top arm up to your head and back down to your hand. So you're just making a quarter circle at the moment. Hang out here and just feel that lovely stretch. Is it lovely? Is it too much? Go with it. Now, as you bring your hand up towards your head, do you feel that your upper chest is opening out and allowing you to take your arm further behind you? So you're getting a lovely openness in the chest as well as movement in the shoulder. So there's lots of different ways that you can use this exercise, the windmill, to give you a different focus. But today I just want to concentrate on just feeling what's happening in your body as you're doing that stretch, and just opening the chest just felt really good for me now. So you get to do it as well. Oh, what does opening the chest mean? It means you can take a deeper breath because the ribs can expand more. Opening the chest, opening the heart chakras just allows you to release that tension. Okay, let's move on to the other side. So I'm going to move my whole bolster, but you just move to the other side, and let's do that exercise on this arm as well. So just get yourself in the right position. So knees over, knees on top of each other, hips on top of each other, and just moving from the top of your head and back down. It might feel a bit stiff to start with. Might feel like you haven't got any more movement once you get to the top of your head. Maybe you haven't even managed to make it to the top of your head. That's fine. Go to where your body is comfortable going. And just breathe with it. So, there's no goal apart from just feeling what your body needs. Maybe each time you're coming up, you can move that little bit further. And now maybe you can take that stretch out behind you, opening the chest. If it's too much, then just stick to where it's comfortable for you. Do not do too much. Whatever you do, though, make the movement slow and controlled. palm up, if you're wondering. Keep the palm facing up. Palm up because it just gives the shoulder a different movement to the standard kind of typing, reading a book kind of movement. Okay, so let's come back onto your back. We'll do some more floor angels and see how that feels right now. So again, palms up, elbows slightly bent, leading with and tipping your bowls of soup out behind you and leading with the elbows. Just see where you can go. Is it a bit easier to keep your arms towards closer to the floor as you're... I've got drum in my way there. Closer to the floor as you are coming up, because there was a point when you, as you were coming up, your arms needed to come up high in the air. Is it easier? Is it different? Okay, and let's come back up to standing. So you're going to roll your knees to the ground. Now let's see if you can get up without putting your hands or your knees on the ground this time. Just seeing how long we've been. Oh, okay, I've got plenty of time. Right, so let's come onto a calf stretch again. Each time we're doing this, it should feel different to the first time. Just remembering, keep those feet pointing straight ahead. Weight back in the heels and feet hip width apart. Take the standing leg a little bit further forward and make sure you've got the ball of your foot on the top of the half dome. Oh, I feel a lot more relaxed now. My head has stopped rushing. I feel a lot more grounded and present than I did at the start of this. Let me know how you're feeling too. Move on to the other foot. Start to get a bit it doesn't start to get any easier to speak, but it starts to get a little bit easier to stay in these stretches for a little bit longer. Yeah, you're less like, oh, I must rush to the other one, I must do all these exercises. You can just go, oh, let's just be for a little while. Oh, we're doing two. When I didn't mean to do two, but we've moved on to the other side. We'll do one more on the left or the other foot from what you're doing now, and then we'll go to the top of the foot stretch. Oh, and each time you find yourself taking a deep breath and doing the sigh, is just you relaxing and releasing that little bit more, just bringing that anxiety, that tension down, allowing your nervous system to move away from the fight and flight and breathe and moving more into just relaxing and allowing yourself to be. So let's take do the top of the foot stretch, so the top of the foot out behind you. How's that this time? Are you finding you're easier to keep your heel in line with your leg? Or are you still reminding yourself? Can you take it a little bit further away this time? Maybe not, doesn't matter. Either way, bring your weight back. Remember not to stick your tummy out. Bring your chest down. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And the top of the other foot. Oh, So I'm glad I did this. I was in two minds this morning to whether come and do this. I was feeling really tired and really anxious. But actually I'm glad you insisted I came along. Okay. Right, we're now going to lie on the floor face down. On your tummy, so no padding. And you're just going to bring your left leg, you're going to bend your knee and just bring your left leg up on the floor so that you're doing an inner thigh stretch on the floor. So just be aware if you're cramping, then just be mindful as to where you take your leg. You might only have it this far. You might find that you can take it a little bit further. Can you move that knee up a little bit more? Can you allow your pelvis to roll further to the ground so that you've got the hip bones and the pubic bone touching your mat? Can you release your bum? Release your glute muscles. They're not tensing and tightening to hold you there. And can you take that up a little bit further? If you can't, don't worry. Just be where you are. Be happy where you are. Breathe. And now just bring that leg back down and let's try the same with the other side, the other leg. We're just interested to know how it feels on this side. Different, easier. You feel the stretch somewhere else. You feel your hip bone moving further away from the floor on this side. Or can you get your knee up higher, quicker on this side? No going to sleep, everybody. Okay, let's go back to the other side. We'll do one more time on each leg. Is it easier to slide your leg up? Maybe you can even straighten your leg. How does that feel? And bring that leg down and let's have a try with the other leg for the final time. See, take the leg up. Not sure how much space I've got. Is it easier? I'll say this is my easier leg. How about does it feel if you straighten the whole leg? Whereabouts can you take the stretch then? Just note where your toes are. Not doing anything with the toes. It doesn't matter where they are. Just be interested. Just be interested in what your body's doing, how it works, its little habits and its idiosyncrasies. And then calm back. Come back. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do a quad stretch on the ground. So I want you to just bend your left leg, keep the other one on the ground. See if you can reach behind you and just take hold of your ankle. So not your foot, not your toes, but your ankle, the bottom of your leg. If you can't, and I didn't say this, but you'll need a strap or a belt. If you can't reach, you can hook a belt round your leg to help you bring that foot towards your bum. Now make sure that your leg doesn't slide away from your other leg. Keep those legs together and just encourage that stretch. And you make sure that your foot doesn't slide out either, but your foot is close to your bum. Got like that breakage going on. Now it's interesting, if you take your foot away from your bum, you can feel the stretch in a different part of your quad muscle. Does that feel nice to put the stretch somewhere else? Does it feel that it's tighter if you take your foot away? Does it make it easier to get your foot closer to your bum if you've moved your foot away? You can move your foot across your bum a little bit and have a stretch in a different place. Find where your body would like the stretch to come. Okay. And let's experiment with the other leg. So left leg on the ground, right leg bent. Grab hold of the. So it's important to grab hold of the ankle, because otherwise you're just doing work on the ankle joint if you're grabbing the foot, and that's not what we're doing today. We're working on the quad muscle, the front of the thigh. Okay. Let that leg go. Come up to sitting cross-legged. Don't worry which leg crosses over in front, just take a note of it. And I just want you to put the backs of your hands together. Can you get your thumbs touching? If not, doesn't matter. You'll find that to get your thumbs touching, you have to open your scapula across your back. So you're widening your upper back almost. And then just see if you can drop your hands down. It's a lovely stretch for the wrists, for the hands, for the shoulders, for your upper back that gets so tight. You drop your hands a little bit lower. Or can you try and rotate your hands so that your thumbs are touching a little bit more? Again, don't force it. Just take it calmly where you are right today. No more. Excuse me. Okay, we're now going to change legs so that I find this easier. You've got your keep a note of whichever leg is closest to your body. Straighten your legs, and then bend. Get back into cross-legged position with the other leg closest to your body. I feel so awkward. We're just going to do a little bit of finger stretching as well. So have your elbow and wrist at right angles, so they're like this, and you're just going to stretch your fingers backwards. So you're going to apply pressure sort of from the joint closest to your hand. Try not to grip your elbow into your body, but allow your arm and your shoulder to hold their own weight. And then the next finger. So it's really difficult with not being able to either see comments or to have people here in the room chatting to you, because sometimes it's just nice to hear the feedback of how you felt. Just keep moving down the fingers, how you felt, how things have changed in your body and your mind since you sat down and started this class today. Move to the other finger. They should have done all fingers by now. And make a fist. Wrap your hand around your thumb. And just moving your thumb towards your body. Just opening up those muscles that tend to, because we grip so much, the thumb tends to like get too close, tight here. So we're opening that muscle. That gets a bit of a stretch. When they've got muscles that are tight and tense, that's when they're not so strong and they're trying to open jars and things, goes a little bit harder. Okay, let's stretch the fingers of the other hand. Move on to the second finger if you haven't done already. And to the third. And the fourth. And the thumb. So just wrapping your fingers around your thumb and just asking it to come towards your body. Okay, so we're going to bolster yourself back up now into psoas release. So grab your blankets and your pillow. Grab also your belt or your yoga strap. We're just going to work on the hamstrings, the back of the thighs, before we relax down for just a nice bit of breathing time. So psoas release is going to be working on that psoas muscle, working on the nervous system to get us feeling more relaxed. You're going to put the legs out stretched. My brain's slowing right down, so it's a good job we've nearly finished. Put the strap around the ball of your foot, not the middle of your foot, but the ball of your foot. And then use the strap to brace your legs, elbows on the floor as you lift that leg up. Keeping your bum on the ground. You don't want your bum to come off the ground, so stop when your bum starts to lift. That's the end of your stretch. That's as far as you need to go. And then just flex your toes towards your body. So don't worry about how high you're going. It's about keeping that bum on the ground. We'll stretch the hamstring, the back of the thigh. And that's what you're needing to do. And then come down and swap feet. And again, it's all about anchoring your bum on the mat. Oh, I feel 100% better than I did when I started. Much more relaxed, much more grounded, much more present. It's been a busy week, emotionally this week. You don't realise how much tension you hold in your body when you're doing that. So coming here and working on the body helped to work on the mind too, and I feel 100% better. So thank you for joining me for this. Okay, so bring your legs. So we're going to stay rest in the psoas position. You can either have your legs stretched out, or you can have them bent, or you can have them sole to sole or crossed over, however's comfy for you. Hands by your sides or resting on your tummy. And I just want you to go and concentrate on your breathing. Breathing in through the nose to a count of 4. Feel your ribs, your chest rising. And then exhaling through your mouth. Take that down to the count of 8. So just in your own time, your own count. In through the nose for 4. And out through your mouth for 8. As you're breathing in, just think about all the calmness. You're breathing in, and as you're breathing out, breathing right away any more tension, any more worry. And as you're exhaling, you can feel yourself getting heavier and heavier on the mat as well, grounding yourself further into the earth. Being conscious of any sounds in the room or sounds outside. Just feeling yourself in the present, in the now. Come back to just normal breathing in and out, your own time. And just spend a bit of time being grateful for your body. Thank you, lungs, for the breaths you take. Thank you, feet, carrying you about and on adventures and journeys. Thank you, legs. Thank you, knees, for being able to bend and allow you to flow and flex through life. Thank you, pelvis, for everything you contain. Thank you, eyes. Thank you, mouth. Thank you, stomach. Thank you, chest. Thank you, back. Thank you, shoulders. Thank you, arms and elbows and wrists. Thank you, hands and fingers. Thank you, neck and throat and mouth. Thank you, head and brain. Thank you, body. We'll just start coming back to the room, back to the mat that you're laying on, back to the sounds in the room. When you're ready, just open your eyes. And if you want to stay here for a little bit longer, then please do. Pop a blanket over you, have a little bit of a rest, have a nap if you can. Or just allow yourself just to sit, lay and just be. It's not often we get a chance to just lay and be. And thank you so much. If you want to come back to sitting, you can. Just come back to a nice peaceful day. Enjoy your weekend. And again, thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you want to, I'll put my buy me a coffee link. That's just a way for you to give a little bit of a donation if you so feel. And I just want to let you know that I'm also got a private group that I've just started for pelvic floor stuff. So if you want to come and be in a safe space to discuss anything, I'm going to share a little bit more information in there. A little bit more advice. You can have some personal advice and just a place to be. And I'll pop a link in that as well. I'm going to go and have a lay down because I feel very calm and very relaxed. Take care. Thank you again. It's an absolute pleasure to do these classes with you and see you again very soon. Bye bye.